And for more, we want to bring in Spencer Critchley, Democratic strategist and managing partner at Boots Road Group, and Lacey Lee Johnson, candidate running for Congress in Minnesota, the same district as Ilhan Omar. We welcome you both to the show. We appreciate your time. Spencer, I want to start with you. We just heard the comments from the Interior Minister a moment ago who said by rebuffing this humanitarian visa that Congresswoman Tlaib had just proved her hate for Israel overcomes her love for her grandmother. Do you agree or do you disagree with the minister that Tlaib's request yesterday was only meant to provoke and to bash Israel further?
Well, of course, I don't know how he could possibly know that, and I don't think that kind of language on either side helps at all. And I'd also like to note the reason that we and everybody else are talking about this today is that Donald Trump needs a distraction from all the terrible news of the past week or so with white supremacist violence, the stock market plunging, his horrible poll numbers just coming out in a Fox News poll. So as usual, he resorts to the typical con artist trick of pulling out a distraction. It's a scary monster or a shiny object. In this case, it's the scary monster of his false depictions of the so-called squad.
And Mr. Johnson, we're going to throw it over to you now. You will be running against Congresswoman Omar. Do you think that as elected members of Congress that she and Congresswoman Tlaib should have been barred entry?
Under normal circumstances, they probably should have, but based upon their support of the boycott, divestments, and sanctions movement against Israel, I think Israel was well within its rights and as to be expected to deny them entry. When you support the boycott, divestment, and sanction against a nation, you basically declared yourself to be an enemy of the state of that nation. And so in response, I can understand and it should be expected that that nation does not want you to provide your entry into it. And, you know, other countries have done this similar things for similar reasons, for less reason, I guess. I mean, the United States has denied entry, I think, to Boy George. I think one of the sons of Margaret Thatcher has been denied, Amy Winehouse. So this is not uncommon. It is just uncommon because it's the first time I think Israel has denied a member of Congress. But once again, it's also the first time a member of Congress has called for the boycott, divestments, and sanctions against the nation of Israel.
Spencer, let's bring it back to you here because just touching on furthering on the topic of BDS. I mean, listen, the movement refers to Israel as an apartheid state, colonialists, occupiers, just a few of the ways that it's been described. The co-founder of BDS himself opposes the very existence of Israel and has actually supported violence against Israel. So, I mean, taking all of that into account, do you understand why Israel would then bar two congresswomen who support BDS?
Well, I strongly disagree with the BDS movement, and I certainly understand Israel's concern about it. However, I also think that Israel is only, or rather not Israel, but Benjamin Netanyahu is only harming Israel by taking this action. There is a law, of course, that he's using as an excuse, but I don't think any democracy should rely on squelching dissent. Israel's greatest strength, like America's greatest strength, is that it's a democratic country which welcomes peaceful dissent. If you are afraid of peaceful dissent, you're sacrificing your greatest strength, whether that's happening at the hands of the wannabe authoritarian in the White House or Prime Minister Netanyahu. I think it's a terrible mistake. And in that, I agree with AIPAC, the American-Israeli Public Affairs Committee, one of the strongest organizations in the United States in support of Israel. And I agree with the Jerusalem Post, who said that this is a gift to opponents of Israel.
And Mr. Johnson, Congresswoman Tlaib's family slammed Israel over this conditional visit and said that it is a natural right for her to be able to visit her relatives. Now, did Israel go too far with this whole conditional visit protocol, or are they just considering the BDS movement?
Well, a couple of things. I think Israel did consider her desire to visit her family. That's why they gave her, for lack of a better word, a waiver. That's why they rescinded the denial. And so that I don't see as an issue. I think she politicized the issue when she refused to go. And you know how those things work. The party gets together and devises a strategy and a narrative that they want to get out to the public, and that's what the decision is based on. I also want to make clear that when you're talking about affecting the economy of a nation, that's more than just dissent. And so I don't see it as dissent. The other thing is that everything comes back to President Trump. We try to connect him to everything. I think Prime Minister Netanyahu, he's a strong enough man. He's not going to be a puppet for President Trump. And I think it was his own decision. And he did it because of how he felt about her stance on BDS.
Excellent. Okay,
I think it's clear that
Critchley.
Netanyahu
I'm sorry, we have to cut you off, Spencer. I
pro-Trump.
apologize. We got to cut you off. We're out of time. Spencer Critchley, Lacey Lee Johnson, we thank you both for your time.